Okay guys, how's it going? So today we're gonna talk about the different ways within house hacking that you can actually house hack. The first way, which is probably pretty obvious, is to buy like a condo or a single family home and rent out the bedrooms. Now there's different ways to actually do that. I did it personally, and for me it worked out great because it was a house by the college and I could rent it to college students, and it was advantageous to them because it was within walking distance, so I could charge a little bit more. Just different strategies, right? Another way that a lot of people will do, and I've had a lot of clients do this way, is they'll get into their condo or their house and they're single and they don't worry about having roommates. So they'll rent out the rooms. Sometimes they've even Airbnb'd some of the rooms and they'll make it up. Usually it's the master suite that they do that with, and they do a really good job of making it really nice and making it private, and then it's just a shared kitchen area. Maybe there's even a separate entrance into the master. And so the way that it works, it's a great way to get into a condo or a single family home and to get some help on the mortgage, and sometimes paying for all of it plus some. Another option with a single family home, I just had a client of mine do this recently. I think it's phenomenal. And what they did was they rehabbed the master bedroom and turned that into its own studio apartment. And it was awesome. Their house is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And instead what they did was separate the master. There was already an additional door leading to the exterior right by the kind of the carport parking area. And so they allowed that to be the entrance. And what happened was they put a kitchenette right next to the bathroom. Water, plumbing, everything was already there. And then they framed off the door that led into the master bedroom. They put soundproof boarding on that, so it kind of separated the sound. So they live in the 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath side now, and that's perfect for them and their family. And they rent out the master bedroom, and they do it month by month lease. So in the area that they live in, they can't do short-term rentals, daily or weekly rentals, but what they can do is monthly or longer. So what worked for them is they advertise it as 1 month at a time. You get a lot of traveling nurses and different things like that, and it's worked really well for them, where it covers their mortgage exactly the exact amount that they would be paying, covers it completely. They live in their home for free. Plus, what's going to happen as soon as they move out and they have those other bedrooms to rent out, they're going to double that. They're going to get another $1,100 from those other 2-bed, 1.5 bathrooms, and they're just going to be cash flowing $1,100 a month, if not more. They're going to go move it to a different property, do the same thing again. So hopefully that helps you understand a different way to do it, especially when you're looking at just a single family home that's not separated. One thing we can do to limit ourselves when we're looking for a property to house hack is we only look for properties that are maybe a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex. And the problem with that is that's what everybody else is thinking about as well. It's what a lot of investors are going after. That's why, especially in today's market, you see so many people and you see the prices of these homes driven up so high because everybody wants a multifamily property. And so if you can go create one instead, or another strategy is to actually purchase a house, and if you're smart about it, you do the due diligence on how to find it and looking at the area. Another great strategy and way to do this is you can actually purchase a home and you know the zoning on it. You can look up the zoning, and just thinking a little bit outside the box, I'm going to give you an example of this exact strategy. Just the other day, a property that popped up, and kind of how my mind works and how I go through it, and why it's a good way to think outside the box. But getting a property that's zoned to where you can actually build an additional unit, it's called an ADU, in the backyard. And obviously you want to make sure that it's zoned for it, it's compliant and all those things so you don't get in trouble down the road. But a different way to think outside the box, think different than most people are thinking. And it's great because you can then choose, maybe you want to live in that ADU and rent your house out because it's bigger and you can get more money. Or maybe you're not on that level quite yet and you just want to keep that in the backyard. Another option with the ADU in the backyard is to Airbnb it. You can always test it out and try it. They have a lot of tools where you can actually go and look, and you can look at the market in your area and see what things rent out for. You can compare that to what the existing rent is, and whichever one you get more out of, then you can go that route and try it out. The more obvious forms of house hacking are duplex, triplex, fourplex. Anything that's 4 units and under you can get a residential loan for. If it's 5 units or more, it's gonna be considered a commercial loan, meaning you can't go owner occupy it and get the same benefits as if it was a residential loan. What I mean by that is the benefits of getting a residential loan and owner occupying it is a low down payment. Whereas if you were to go buy, let's say, an apartment complex, you can definitely live in one of the units, but the bank's not gonna look at it as an owner occupied loan to where they're gonna require a lower down payment because there's less risk for them. They simply don't care about that. It only is going to work for 4 units and under. So something just to be aware of. When I'm looking to purchase an owner occupied home or a house to potentially house hack, those are a few of the things that I'm looking for. I also take an advantage of, hey, is this in an area that attracts a lot of tourists to where if I did Airbnb it, I know I'm going to get high rents? Is this in an area that's close to a college campus where I can charge more per bedroom? Is this in an area that's growing and there's a lot of jobs coming to the area and coming to town to where I know I'm not going to have a problem renting out any of the other units, and in fact rent's going to do nothing but go up over the years? All of these things are just good things to consider and to think about as you're buying these properties. A lot of times it's a 2 to 4 unit property that we think of if we're married and we want to quote unquote house hack, right? First thing that pops into mind is I'm going to buy a duplex, live in one side, rent out the other side. Great, absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Go for a fourplex, look for a fourplex instead of a duplex. Different ways to just think outside the box when it comes to house hacking. Another great way and another strategy is what we call luxury house hacking. I think this is absolutely awesome. And there's a property I found the other day. I'll show you guys it. I'll walk you through it and why I think it was so cool. So this property is still on the market. I don't know why. And I haven't done like a deep dive, run the numbers on it, but this is an amazing way to live in such a cool property. I mean, check this thing out. It's awesome. It's luxury. It's brand new, like 6-car garage. Like what? This is crazy, right? If you look at it, and if you notice, it's not necessarily advertised this way, but as we dive into it and look at the pictures, we see like, dang, there's a full-size kitchen in the basement. And there's also a casita. And man, if I were to rent both of those out and just live in the upstairs and benefit from that, probably my mortgage is going to be covered. And there's enough people that are looking for nicer rentals, even like older couples that they might be snowbirds and different things like that have money that want to live in a nicer place. This is a great way to get yourself an amazing home where you're not actually paying the mortgage. And so a lot of times we look at house hacking as this big sacrifice, and it doesn't always have to be a sacrifice. In fact, a lot of times the way that my wife and I have done it is we've leveled up each time we've moved up. But for now, hopefully your mind's turning and you're thinking about this differently. If you've already thought about house hacking and ruled it out, hopefully you're looking back at it and being like, man, this is a good opportunity. Is it worth it for us to sell our house? Is it worth it for us to find a way, our current house, to turn it into an additional unit somehow? How's our zoning set up? Does it allow us to build an addition to the house? Maybe it won't allow for an additional unit, but it might allow for an addition to the house. What ways can I get creative? I have another client who rents out a camper. He bought a fifth wheel right around $5,000 and they renovated it. They fixed it up. It's parked on the side of his house and it's completely legal in his area. He's checked everything and it's good to go. And he rents it out and he makes about $1,000 a month renting this fifth wheel out. Within 5-6 months, he's gotten all of his money back that he put into it. And it's just a cash flowing machine, makes an extra $1,000 a month, right? The point being, there are so many ways to house hack and you might not be willing to do it, but if you think outside the box, there's definitely a way to take advantage of owner occupying a property and still finding a way to make money on it.